Key Insight 4. Leaders should empower team members to make their own decisions. One of the dichotomies of leadership is balancing the need to make decisive commands with the flexibility to let subordinates make decisions in the field. In both the professional world and in the military, team members need to feel empowered to change tactics as necessary. Ideally, a team leader and the team discuss every plan of action as it's executed, but sometimes there's no time for substantial back-and-forth conversation. In cases like these, it's critical that team members feel empowered to try a new tactic without explicit permission. Everyone on the team needs to know the objectives of a given mission to carry it out successfully, but plans change, especially in times of crisis. For Navy SEALs, this might mean that a team member feels empowered to try the next best thing when an order can't be carried out. For example, suppose that a SEAL's commander tells him to go to the roof of a building, but the SEAL spots some sort of impediment, like an improvised explosive device. If the SEAL knows that the overarching goal is to find an elevated position, he can suggest a different spot. Decentralized command, which delegates responsibility to non-leaders in the field, is often a more effective approach to leadership than central command, which depends on strict orders from one person. But decentralized command hinges on good communication channels so that everyone in the team is on the same page. It also depends on trust. A leader has to trust that subordinates will carry out orders whenever possible and otherwise make the best possible decision given the parameters of the situation, all while communicating any changes to the rest of the team. Finally, decentralized command depends on everyone believing that their job is critical to the mission. Key Insight 5. A good leader accepts responsibility for every team member's actions. It is a leader's prerogative to accept credit for the team's good work, but the leader is also accountable for everyone's mistakes and failures. Good leaders must claim full responsibility anytime someone on the team underperforms. This fundamental principle of leadership is known as extreme ownership. In the face of failure, it's all too easy to throw around accusations. Practicing extreme ownership means never allowing room for those excuses. Whenever a team member fails to perform, the first question leaders should ask is how they, as the leader, failed that team member. Perhaps the consequences of failure weren't stated clearly enough, or perhaps the team member didn't have the tools and support needed to do the job. It's likely that the source of the problem was a lack of guidance or miscommunication. By taking ownership of the failure, a leader can better diagnose the problem and, moreover, address it so that the problem doesn't occur again. While the primary purpose of extreme ownership is to find proactive solutions instead of wasting time on blame, a secondary effect is that leaders who practice extreme ownership often inspire people in their ranks to practice it as well. And when everyone on the team takes full responsibility for their mistakes, the team is much more likely to be efficient and successful. Strong leaders tend to have strong teams. If a team is weak, the fault always lies with the leader. Key Insight 6. Team members who feel deeply involved with their work will perform better than those who don't. Good leaders know how to subtly manipulate their team members so that they feel more personally invested in their assignments. Typically, this involves staging a dialogue or a conversation. Leaders should always solicit opinions from their teams and, whenever possible, allow subordinates to implement their own plans to work towards an objective that the leader has defined. People will work hard to successfully execute plans that they develop themselves because they feel their reputation is at stake. But if they're implementing a plan developed by the leader, especially if it's a plan they don't believe in, they might work less hard or even sabotage the effort. The best plan is almost always the one that will make team members feel personally responsible. And the process of letting team members develop and implement their own plan offers the added benefit of making it easier for the leader to spot tactical weaknesses because it's easier to spot a hole in someone else's plan than in your own. Another way to make team members feel more invested in their work is to explain why the work is meaningful. This framing must recognize and speak to the team members' particular perspectives and concerns. A CEO who touts the rising values of his company's shares isn't going to appeal to frontline employees who don't particularly care about creating value for shareholders. To inspire frontline workers, the CEO should talk about how creating company wealth helps boost the employee's job security and creates more room for career advancement. Good leaders always find a way to make the mission relevant and meaningful to the team.